Ben Franklin, Film Lad on Talk Radio for Real Life, 1450 AM and 92.9 FM WTKI and 1490 WEKI.
Live long and prosper.
And hello, Huntsville. This is Film Lad coming to you from WTKI and WEKI. You can also check us out at filmlad.com and kelseylive.com, which is Kelsey Grammer's website. Figured today is Freaky Film Friday, and I'm talking to independent filmmakers. I have on the line Bill Alexander, who is a filmmaker in Arizona, and like me, we have both gone through the trials and tribulations of putting together a feature film. As I recall, Bill Alexander is making a film called 50 Ways to Kill Your Lover. My last two films were Flatland and Hive Mind. Mr. Bill, come in, Mr.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, man. So
I
let's.
was just laughing at your commercials, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
God, so that was good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I have fun. I have fun putting them together. And by the way, if you're out there listening in Huntsville or Decatur or Planet Earth, give us a call, and we'll be happy to write up fun commercials like that for you. So. Let's talk more about 50 Ways to Kill Your Lover. You are in the post-production process right now.
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm. I'm absolutely thrilled with the way the project's going.
Let's talk about it a little bit. It was originally designed to be like a music video thing, right?
Absolutely. It was about a 40-minute video featuring about 4 or 5 local bands that I really liked, and my band as well. At the time, I was in a band called Alexander's Attic, named after me, Bill Alexander,
right.
And my wife. So we started a band. We did some music videos and of our own band, and then we incorporated 3 other bands. So we had about 4 bands total that we were going to release about a 40-minute music video to the community. Pretty much. I met this comedian. His name was Jack Weigel. A very funny guy.
The song 50 Ways to Kill Your Lover, and then that ended up, one thing led to another, and then you ended up getting Jay Link, right, to play. Well, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. You're headed in the right direction there. Yes, Jack ended up being he worked out so perfectly in his role. He's a natural actor. He's a Johnny Depp kind of guy. He is just incredible. So I wanted to expand his role in this thing, and then we talked about it over several weeks, and we go, well, why don't we just make a movie out of this? People seem to like it so well that I think we can make some great entertainment here for 2.5 hours. I mean, I really want it to be a long, and I really love comedy. He loves comedy. And because of the nature of it, where there's some brutality involved, it is kind of like a horror type of things too, where there's, you got mangled body parts, and you've got stabbing going on, and you've got saws cutting people up,
but it's all campy stuff. It's all campy stuff.
It is all campy.
So,
I mean,
here's the thing: a lot of people don't understand when you're making a film that a lot of people tend to confuse violence in the real world with violence in a film. It's the sort of thing where sometimes you can have a campy type of violence, you can have a more realistic type of violence, like in The Thing, or Slevin or something like that. But I mean, the bottom line is that movies aren't real, and that people tend to confuse what they're seeing up on the movie screen with real life. And really, I mean, we're in a visual world. And television and movies and so forth and so on. And unfortunately, our education system is not caught up with the technology to be able to teach people to separate themselves from what they're watching on television, and how to break down that visual so that they can understand, hey, this isn't real. Let's break down this image and figure out what it's really saying, as opposed to the typical pop culture view of what that visual is saying to me. And so it makes it difficult for us, if that makes any sense.
No, it absolutely does make sense. And, we live in a visual society. I mean, I mean, you have these video games that, I mean, the graphics on them are just incredible. You know, people want to be entertained immediately. I mean, the attention span is, you know, if you can't entertain me in 10 seconds or less, it's boring. Let's move on to something else. So, I've really got to think about that when I've been putting together this movie, how to keep people's attention, you know, throughout the whole thing. In other words, I want somebody to watch it from start to finish and laugh and enjoy it. So how do you turn killing this mouthy woman, which is, you know, Jack's wife.
Right, and the story, for those who don't know the story for 50 Ways to Kill Your Lover, the idea is that this guy is having fantasies about different ways to kill
his wife. Yeah.
His wife, right, and it's a campy type of thing. So none of it is really meant to be a serious thing.
Yeah, right.
But so that's kind of the idea, right? Is that you're
it's almost a spoof on the horror genre. In other words, I had a reporter come out to my movie set here, wanting to do a story because he heard about this movie that was being made here in this area, and of course to try to generate some publicity for the area, he came out and did a front page story on the movie, and he wanted to see some of the movie to help him, you know, write his story. Mm-hmm. He was intrigued because he was laughing throughout this whole thing, and he said, you know, I can't even write my notes. It's so funny. I said, well, what do you? I mean, he's going. You got something going here where, you know, you've got this guy just torturing this woman, and she's torturing him with her crass and rude voice and demeaning comments towards him. He said the way you've got this thing put together is you're making everyone rally behind him to kill her.
Right. But the idea is that you're making an anti-hero.
Yes.
It is the thing. Your hero is the anti-hero.
But it's not promoting domestic violence or anything like that, because that's where the campiness comes in.
Right. You know? And now let me ask you something. Do you think that you would have had some of the flack, because you have gotten a certain amount of flack for what you're doing?
Yes, I have.
Do you think you would have had less flack if it had been, say, for instance, if you had a name actor in it and had $20 million to do it, like you had Johnny Depp or somebody tossed in there, or you know, whatever, John Goodman or something playing the part that Jay's playing? Do you think, because people probably don't understand, you've gotten quite a bit of flack for basically making this campy horror film already, and it's not even finished. But you know, do you think that you know what I'm saying?
Well, I do know what you're saying. I am glad that I don't have Johnny Depp in the same. I mean, I would have loved to have his star power, and you know, and all that. And plus, he's an incredible, brilliant actor.
Right.
But I'm also very happy with the choice that I picked. And without Jack in this movie, you know, and Beth and Jay Link, I'm really thrilled with my choices, and they've all done an incredible job. So, yeah, I would have liked to had, I don't know, maybe the next one, lad. I don't know. You know. Well,
I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is that some people end up being snobs against the indie film world, and so they think, well, if you don't have a name actor in it or whatever, then it's not worth my looking at. And which is, you know, terribly snotty.
But how did name actors get their start?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, exactly. And in fact, we've got an actor on the line, and we will pick up with him, Jay Link, in just a minute.
Excellent.
Right after this commercial, and we'll come back to you, Bill. So
okay.
Stay out there, man.
All right, you're going to be talking with Jay,
right?
Back.
We'll be back. And welcome back, Huntsville, Decatur, planet Earth. This is Filmland talking to you from an undisclosed location bunker. We are talking today about Freaky Film Friday, which is basically about independent filmmaking, since that's what I am. I made two films, one called Flatland, one called Hive Mind. And you can get both of them online at flatlandthefilm.com, hivemindmovie.com, and amazon.com. And we happen to have on the line a fellow who put music into my film Hive Mind, and who is also going to be starring in the upcoming film 50 Ways to Kill Your Lover by Bill Alexander. That fellow's name is Jay Link. Jay Link, come in, sir. Come in. Can you hear me, Mr. J?
Grandma. What's going on?
Mr. J, can you hear me? Come in.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
All right, yeah. Okay, there you are.
Oh, there I am.
Pot him up a little bit, Brian, if you can.
Hello, Alabama.
Hello, sir. Hey, man. So what was it like working with Bill? He can't be on the line with us because we have a technical issue. So we get to talk about him all we want to.
Nice. You know, he deserves everything he's got coming. Yeah, I tell you what. I'm an indie actor. I've only been in a couple of other films, you know, that had actual scripts, and had a whole format going. And I had small roles, and it was great. It was a great experience. But you know, Bill Alexander really kind of, you know, really gave me a lot of license to do some wild and crazy things as an actor in his film 50 Ways to Kill Your Lover. Now, I got to tell you, lad, as you know, I sure enjoyed putting out some music to your film, of course.
Right, but I mean, we never actually met in person. I just happened to find your music and then gave it down to you, right?
Right.
Where I said, hey, I need it, and et cetera, et cetera. And,
yeah, it worked out pretty.
Right, exactly. So it wasn't the sort of thing where you actually had to do anything creative beyond just giving me the music that you'd already been creative on.
Exactly. Yes. Now with Bill, it was a different story. We were friends before the movie. We were, you know, we lived in the same area here in Arizona. We knew each other as musicians. You know, I came in to do a little bit of a role, and he kind of liked what I did, so he expanded the role. But I got to tell you one thing about Bill. Bill is a hard-working son of a gun. You notice I said gun.
Yes, yes. Don't get us in trouble with the FCC.
I got you. I'm quite aware of my potty mouth.
Right.
So Bill's a hard-working guy. Now he's a perfectionist. He really, you know, he will work at something until it's right. And you know, so in that respect, he will get a lot out of you that you might not be able to do yourself. In some of the newer scenes, some of the final scenes where I won't give everything away, but there's a situation where Jack somehow makes a reappearance at the end of the movie, and he actually got me to cry and scream and on camera, and I wasn't sure
what
if I was
doing. Did he slap you around or something, or what?
He slapped me around. He slapped me around real bad. He called me really, really bad names. And then he threatened to pay me, and that really I really got mad at that.
Oh man, well that'll do it to you anytime, man.
That set me off. Yeah, when he threatened to actually pay me something for the role, I became enraged, and I was able to cry on film, on cue, and for the first time ever. And it was so bizarre because even after the take was over, I was still sobbing, wondering, wow, that, you know, I was kind of blown away because he got that much out of me that I didn't think I was able to do.
Now let's talk about for a minute the difference between a big film and a little film, or an independent film, I guess we ought to say. Sure. It's not big or little, but expensive and many. On the micro budget films, it's not like you get a trailer, and you get to, you know, get your own makeup person and a handler and bottled water and candy and flowers and all the right. So I mean, you know, you usually just drive over to somebody's house.
Yep.
And if you're gonna wear makeup, you put it on yourself, or somebody's girlfriend shows up to do it for you. Or whatever.
Oddly enough, lad, I was treated quite well. I did get a lot of water, and they did feed me, and they did have a makeup artist out there for some of the scenes where I had some blood going. But I think
swanky.
Yeah, it was pretty high end. You know, when you get talent of my caliber, you got to put out a few bucks. So, you know, Bill had some Kentucky Fried Chicken flown in, you know, a couple of wings. Yeah, he spared no expense.
Oh man, Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's better. Yeah. Usually it's peanut butter and jelly on a peanut butter and jelly. Or ramen
noodles. We all know how we love those.
Ramen noodles.
That's our standing joke. That's our standard lunch, buddy. But it was great because and the one thing I really enjoyed about the film was an actor wasn't able to show up for a certain part, so Bill used my son Jordan in a scene where I actually got to, you know, kill my son, and that was just so amazing. Kid's 27 years old. I had a blast. I didn't stop when the scene was over.
Getting them back for all of the diapers you had to do.
Absolutely.
Way back when, right?
Wow. Yeah, exactly. The big diaper bill. But working with Bill Alexander was amazing. I think this film is going to hold people's attention because it's sick, it's twisted, it's funny, it's irreverent, and a lot of it is done tongue-in-cheek, lad, as you know. And we were able to create something that, is going to offend some people, but if you're into that genre, if you like, the Rob Zombie type horror, slasher, dark comedy, this film is going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So let me ask you a couple more questions. I mean, when you were actually the basic set is you're going to be shooting on location, right? So
right.
So for most of the time you're out there with the camera. Like the crew is like what, 4, 5, 6 people, right?
Right, yeah, just a small crew. But remember, we filmed at some really hot times in the summer in the desert. It got pretty brutal, hot in the summer and cold and windy in the winter. So it was not the ideal conditions for a shoot. There was a lot of
people who out there listening right now who are probably used to me talking about politics and conservatism and all that libertarianism and all that stuff probably are imagining you make a film and there's going to be 50 or 100 people running around and people yelling 10 minutes till and bullhorns and all that other sort of stuff. And no, it's a lot more intimate and relaxed and calm. Well, maybe not calm, but intimate and relaxed, right? So you're going to have, people trying to get their stuff done with a skeleton crew, basically, is the term. So, well, Mr. J, exactly. that music, which is Johnny Quest.
Gotcha, buddy. We had a blast. Looking forward to hearing Ali Segretti next. She's an amazing filmmaker. Yes. Thank you for your time, lad, and we'll talk to you soon. Sure, I love your new show. You're amazing, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, man. You have a good one out there. Talk to you soon. Folks, we'll be back right after these important commercial messages, which I know that you will enjoy.